Well, hello everyone. Well, they're getting ready to release Leticia. And her whole reason for going to the hospital is try to get out of jail free, and she wanted to scam some housing. Now, they just gave her some lists, and that upset her to no end. And she went on a big rant. And then she began to offer herself for marijuana. Everything that you could want for some bud. And then, after a long stint of, talking about love you long time for little bit of green buddy, all of a sudden she goes on a feminist, supremacist rant about men should not be in charge anymore.
And do some work for you. What in the fuck were those two social workers doing when they could have just, and they're gonna sit around and chat behind the desk instead of, why don't you make the phone calls for me? Why, you've got plenty of
Well, because they're not your social worker.
fucking time. You're getting paid the big bucks. You're getting paid way more than me to do all the work, to help
Well, how is she getting paid to do the work?
disabled citizens. And here I am, still wondering what's going on. Why am I being abused in this way? Why am I the one being pinpointed as the issue, targeted as the issue, when in actuality it's the U.S. government and all their officials and all their military men? So, the father of this child, what a piece of shit. Pathetic, that's what he is. And I actually was making videos prior to being forced into this place, and I was stating how much...
Now, earlier she said she was there voluntarily. Now, all of a sudden, she says she was forced into this place.
I loved and cared about him because I didn't want anything to happen to him. Like, that's how my personality is. So, as soon as I smoke, I'm gonna be fine. As soon as I, get my proper medication instead of them. And then they even asked me.
Now, that means pot. So she's going to go out on the street and start offering herself for bud. I mean, can you imagine the guys in Hot Springs right now? There's going to be a crazy pregnant bitch, offering love me long times for a joint.
Are you sure you don't want any medication?
Now, I can see that, there's going to be some 13 and 14-year-olds that, we don't even want to talk about that, but, she may make a few men today.
Yes, bitch. Put me on some fucking Xannies right now while I'm fucking 34 weeks pregnant, and that's exactly what I want, bitch. Bitch. Stupid cunts. So, yeah. I really don't know what's wrong with people. Why would you even ask me if I wanted pharmaceuticals when I just told you my fucking story about how I was on them and it made me so much worse, and then when I got off of them, then I actually regulated my life properly and was able to maintain through diet and exercise and smoking medicinal marijuana.
Now, really, do you think she's maintaining?
These stories are relevant for the future because you understand that men can't rule anymore, right? Because they're doing so many toxic things. There should be way more women in office because they don't understand a woman's body, and that's why they removed abortion.
Yes, you hear, Leticia. Men can no longer be allowed to rule. So I believe this is her call for the Amazonian Uprising.
No. That's a ploy to get us to breed for the United States so that there's no other way but everybody's forced to have these kids that they don't want, and then they're going to abuse them, then they're going to kill them off. The one lady was in there because she threatened to hurt her baby, her son. And she said, I'm suffering through postpartum, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, girl, I feel for you.
Yeah, as you say, girl, in Letitia Part 2, I threatened my baby 218 times. That's not a joke. She did. In Letitia Part 2, on Adonis Paul, she threatened her baby over 200 times.
Mom had that, and she had that with me. And then she came around and told me, I wish you were dead. She says that shit all the time. And people think I'm safe with her. People think that I'm safe at these homeless shelters. People think that I'm...
Well, guess you can't really say that on YouTube, so I guess I need to go on.
safe. Where do you think I'm going to be safe? No No, and then everybody's, I feel bad. I wish I,
Well, don't worry. You'll find some guy that's got like, a roach that, you don't. Let's not even tell you about that.
but they don't step in personally to do it. No, because we're not individuals to these people. We are our classifications. We are those criminal records. We are those educational records. We are those medical records. That's all they see. That's all they fucking see. So now I've got to go pick up the paperwork. See, today's the 21st. My birthday's the 28th. So I've got a week before I end up being fucked up anyway. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? It's not like I'm...
What Silly doesn't realize, she gets your YouTube money today.
I'm gonna get a cake and candles. No, I'm probably gonna be behind bars because they want me to show up at that court proceeding on the 25th. And they already have that warrant because they revoked the bond. And I'm like, no, why don't you sit in my place? Why doesn't the father sit in my place when it's his fault that I'm pregnant right now?
Because the court document says he is the victim and not the defendant. Next question.
Now, it's his fault that I filed the report. I would have never filed the report had there not been a child involved.
She would have never filed the report. But see, this has always been her honey trap. And, reaching middle age, this has always been her plan. And the honey trap was failed. So she wanted to blackmail him. So, once again, she tried to use the police as her pimps. And she got pimp slapped by the man.
It's this child that you should be worried about. I'm not even worried about myself. Like, I wish I had a ring on my finger to produce this child. But I'm not going to seek that out. That's sick and distorted. I never sought money. I never sought any of that. I wanted a relationship prior to getting pregnant.
She wanted a slave. We know from her last husband, she wouldn't take care of the baby. She constantly called him at work. She wants a chain and a man to be a slave. She even said once in one of her jovial moods that she wanted a man to badger. I mean, like that isn't going to end up in violence at some point.
All of my videos, everything I clarify, that's not fake. These are my raw fucking emotions. This is why I wanted to expose what real mental disorders are and what true distorted mental illness is. I may be mentally unstable at times due to my fragility and trauma, but I am not so mentally ill and so psychotic that I would harm another person or force my...
Now, we have heard how many times her talk about harming other people, and now she says she would never. I mean, this kind of sounds like she's playing for the next therapist or to play at a therapy session.
My opinions on somebody or to try to force them into altering their reality. I don't know.
Into altering their reality. Now, does not she tell everyone in the universe on how to live at every occasion, trying to alter their reality?
What's wrong with you people? You need to get a life. Like, honestly, you need to get lives. Because there's nothing right with any of this. And you guys sit there and make these bash videos, and you make all this commentary, and then you make my mother believe that she's in the right. You make all these deranged people believe that they're in the right. But do you understand? It doesn't matter. The mass of people that you sway, the stupid idiots the sheep that you sway, because there are some of us lying in.
No, my job is to make you understanding and yet entertaining at the same time. Now, that requires work and talent, neither of which you will ever have, Leticia.
This is out here that are going to tear you the fuck apart. Not even in this realm, but in the spiritual one. So you need to understand what the fuck you're dealing with. What the fuck you're dealing with. Because that's why I'm so lighthearted right now.
I'm getting God threats from Leticia.
I know I'm going to suffer. Everyone suffers. But I still have optimism for all of it. And if this child is ripped away from me, that's on you people. That's totally on you.
It's my fault.
Shit wrong. And I should be allowed to be a mother. I should be allowed to carry this child. I did all the work. Why is someone else going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Why would I want to see anybody else raise my children? And yet it's been 6 years since I've seen my daughter. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. You should. Because here I am. I'm not a little crackhead.
Summer, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Substance abuse, whatever. Marijuana. No, that's not substance abuse. That is a medicine that has helped me through all of this. So
She forgets the mushrooms.
Somebody to suck so that I can get some fucking
She got paid YouTube today.
And I'm trying so goddamn hard. I'm trying so hard to appropriate myself in these circumstances and to be a lady. But apparently I'm just a lady of the night, especially since what he had done to me. And
marijuana tramp.
He gave me $50 for gas, and I can't even. Apparently I'm a $50 slut, a $50 whore. I'm so.
It's a lot more than you're worth.
So sick. I feel so sick. Like for him, like I
You
feel
know.
sorry for his soul because he's going straight to fucking hell. And I feel sorry for you people. Like I don't know what you think you're gonna do because you're talking about trying to go to other wars.
She feels sorry for us. I'm just the one sitting here smoking bud.
And yet you're doing the same thing here in your country, only worse. So yeah, because you have the means to track them, you have the means to find them, you have the means to pick out which one you want to abuse, and then you just run off with your wives. That's sick. You need to.
I don't have a wife. I got a shimmer.
That is. And I feel sorry for you people. I feel sorry for the women that you abuse. And
Now see, this is her trying to make herself feel better of putting herself above you. You get right, Gemma? You was drilling in your sleep again, weren't you?
one of them, I'm like, oh my god, whatever. I don't feel sorry for myself. I know I'm strong, much stronger than your wives. So, yeah, it's hilarious to me. You people are sick. So yeah, anyway, people don't like to hear me talk like this. They're like, oh my god, that is, oh, but they're using the words of God to regulate people and everything, and that's blasphemous. You're using God's name in vain. You are. You're trying to persuade people into believing your nonsense.
Now see, this is more. Now this whole end, I'm not going to play the end few minutes. But you know, now once again, she's wrapping herself into this God and I'm above you delusion that her Dr. Carol kept feeding. So you know, this is your Leticia update. You know, she's getting on the road and she's ready to love for Bud, and she said she's an hour away from her stuff, which, you know, once again, we know her exaggeration. They gave her a bus token. So likely right now she's on her way to the car. Her mother said before they'd have a cop there to protect the family. Not a bad idea. So she's worried she's going to get busted. So, you know, right now she's going to look for a man who's got a little bit of bud and probably try to shack up for a night or two. Honestly. Now, being her pregnant side, unless she finds a real reprobate, she's going to be out of luck on that one. But the fact is the way the world is, she may just find her a nice reprobate, and that's going to be her attempt. So she's going to go try to lot lizard, 8 months pregnant, for a little bit of marijuana, when the fool does either one of two things. She either is too much of a fool to realize she got paid for YouTube today, or she's trying to scam. Or both. So now everyone, please put your comments below and have a good day.